October 1962. Across America, families prepared for the end of the world. Parents filled underground shelters with canned food and water. Children practiced nuclear drills in school classrooms. Air raid sirens echoed through cities on television screens. President Kennedy delivered a warning that terrified millions. The Soviet Union had secretly placed nuclear missiles in Cuba, only 90 miles from the United States. Those missiles could destroy entire American cities within minutes. And now, two nuclear superpowers stood on the edge of war. Bombers were armed, missiles were ready. One mistake, one misunderstanding, could end human civilization forever. After World War II, the world split into two rival superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union. They fought for global influence, power, and survival. Both sides possessed nuclear weapons powerful enough to wipe entire nations off the map. The fear of nuclear war consumed the planet. Americans feared Soviet attack, Soviets feared American invasion. Every year, both sides built more bombs, bigger bombs, deadlier bombs. Humanity now possessed the power to destroy itself. Then, in October 1962, American spy planes flying over Cuba captured horrifying images. Soviet nuclear missile bases were under construction. Nuclear launch sites aimed directly at the United States. President Kennedy faced the greatest crisis of his presidency. Military leaders demanded immediate airstrikes against Cuba. Some wanted full invasion. Others warned that attacking Cuba could trigger World War III. Kennedy understood the terrifying reality. If nuclear war began, millions could die within hours. Entire cities could vanish in fire. For 13 days, the world lived in fear. American warships surrounded Cuba in a naval blockade. Soviet submarines moved silently beneath the Atlantic Ocean. Nuclear bombers waited on runways with engines running. Soldiers prepared for war. Across the world, people watched the news in terror, wondering if humanity had reached its final days. Deep beneath the ocean, a Soviet submarine known as B-59 drifted through darkness. Inside the submarine, conditions were becoming unbearable. Temperatures climbed above 100 degrees Fahrenheit. The air grew thick and suffocating. Carbon dioxide levels rose dangerously high. Exhausted sailors wiped sweat from their faces as the submarine shook beneath the sea. Worse still, the submarine had lost communication with Moscow. The crew had no idea what was happening above them. Had war already started? Were their families still alive? Nobody knew. Then suddenly, explosions echoed through the water. American destroyers had located the submarine and began dropping practice depth charges nearby. The Americans intended them as warning signals, but the Soviet crew didn't know that. Inside the submarine, panic spread rapidly. The captain believed the United States was attacking. Furious and exhausted, he gave the order to prepare a nuclear torpedo. One launch could trigger global nuclear war. Millions of people could die before sunrise. But launching the torpedo required approval from 3 senior officers. 2 agreed immediately. One refused. That man was Vasily Arkhipov. While fear consumed the submarine, Arkhipov remained calm. He argued that they could not know for certain whether war had begun. The captain shouted at him. Officers argued inside the cramped submarine as sweat poured down their faces. The submarine sat in darkness, carrying a nuclear weapon powerful enough to change human history forever. One decision separated humanity from annihilation. Arkhipov refused to authorize the launch. Minutes passed in terrifying silence. Finally, he convinced the captain to surface instead. Slowly, the submarine rose towards the ocean surface. The nuclear torpedo was never fired. Above the ocean, leaders desperately searched for peace. Behind closed doors, Kennedy and Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev secretly negotiated an agreement. The Soviet Union agreed to remove nuclear missiles from Cuba. In exchange, the United States promised not to invade Cuba. Secretly, America also agreed to remove nuclear missiles from Turkey. Slowly, the crisis ended. Humanity stepped back from the edge of destruction. Historians believe the Cuban Missile Crisis was the closest humanity has ever come to nuclear annihilation. Not because of a giant battle, not because of invading armies, but because of fear, confusion, and one terrifying moment beneath the ocean. Most people alive today have never heard the name Vasily Arkhipov. Yet without him, the modern world may not exist. One man refused to say yes, and because of that, humanity survived.